Welcome, people, to Let's Play Tyranny. First things first, let's level up. Let's see here. Probably wanna get vitality up to 19 for Barrack. He doesn't have a second attribute, does he? No. He does have a talent point. No. It was just weird that it was still... Oh, Lantry. Alright, never mind. Right. Increases defensive benefits from shields, I think, is probably going to be the best thing we can do right now. What is Defender's Watch? Oh, it's a passive thing. Retribution... I have Phalanx. Sound of War. Okay, is that something I have here then? No? I wonder where that buff comes from that gives me willpower. I don't know. Anyway, let's increase our defensive benefits for shield by 40%. That should be a big difference. As for Lantry, right, he has 40 or 19 wits, so that's good. I suppose getting quickness would be good for him. Of course, I could also give him some resolve. Right, stand together, stand tall. I don't know what that buff... where that buff comes from. But that's a +2, so I have a resolve of 12. Which, it does increase affliction duration, but he's more of a buffer than he is a debuffer. And I think getting better cooldown is probably... because Might here, it's ability strength, it's not really spell strength. Quickness will give him better... it will give him a boost to control illusions. Well, okay, Vitality will give him a boost to control life. Resolve. No, I think getting quickness is probably the best thing we can do right now. So we'll do that. As for our abilities here, we can get Moment of Peace. What is this? Increase the health restored by second breath and protected revived characters from damage after a short while after their second breath. What is this? Oh yeah! Right, so it gives them... more health than they normally would get from revivification, but also they get a damage shield that lasts for 6 seconds. That's really good. What is Passage of Hours? Oh, it's a slow thing. It's a foe. It's a debuff. Passage of Hours. Right. Surrounds the target in a bubble of slowed time, slowing their actions and movement speed. That seems really good. This is Arcane Shield 3, which gives him better damage preservation against magic. I'll take Moment of Peace there to increase the healing done by second breath and also get that damage shield when we revive someone. I also got this, Rending Edge, which is a one-handed weapon. Causes bleeding on crit. Let's see how this compares to Barrack's Tenderizer. It deals less damage, but this thing here, it's not a lot less damage. And it also, this thing here also has better armor penetration. So, I think we'll do this. And this here, Twisted Iron Sword, we can sell. Unless I want to give it to Verse. It has better armor penetration than the guitar there. So we'll do that. Cool. Let's see. Also, let's talk to Barrack. Let's see. Fatebinder, do you have a moment? Barrack stands at attention. He has his rigid bearing masking. His rigid bearing, making him an unmoving statue. Okay. His rigid bearing. You mean his posture? Okay. I think that means posture. Let's see here. There's been a number of times since I came to your service in which I have not agreed fully with your choices. That said, I have never truly questioned your judgment. I hope this pattern holds after you hear the request I now have to make of you. What do you want? If it's a hug you're looking for, I got some bad news. Now, let's not make fun of him. What do you want? I hoped perhaps the adjudicator would hear my case. What are you talking about? Or I could adjudicate cases in the Archon's stead. This is something you'd probably want to appeal to a higher power. I have been encased in this. He wraps a gauntlet against the shards of corroded iron and bronze that sweep across his chest. Shell, since Kairos' Edict of Storms made me a grave of old stalwart. It occurred in service to the Overlord, and I would ask that the Overlord free me of its burden. Okay. Tunon can't order Kairos to take her armor off. I wasn't going to ask the Overlord to do it personally. His metal plates grind together as he shifts. The Forge-bound guild swore its service to the Adjudicator. If any hope of my freedom from this carapace exists, it lies with them. I say. Well, that is true. That is probably more useful to the Overlord in his armor. Well, not necessarily. His armor is kind of shit. You were right. This is something for Tunon. It is, because him being encased in armor is the result of Kairos' edict, which means that it could be a matter of this is Kairos' will. So I think we will plead the case towards Tunon, or okay, then you agree to present the case. Yes, I will happily make your case to the Archon. Thank you, Fatebinder. His salute rings like a poorly cast bell. I eagerly await the Archon's judgment. Alright. Let's also speak with Verse.
So, the Scarlet Chorus and Disfavored are at each other's throats. Can't say I didn't see that coming, but the Archons might have waited until one war was over before they started another.
You think I made the right decision?
Fighting with the Disfavored. Well, not the call I would have made, but I'm sure you have your reasons. If you like iron weapons or something about that purple uniform excites you, then be my guest. Who can say? War is all about compromising your morals, deciding who lives and dies. What seems like a mistake turns into your greatest call down the road. Let me make one thing clear, just so that there aren't any misunderstandings. You support Graven Ash, and I couldn't care less. I'm here because you've done what none of the Archons could. Not even the voices of Nerat would fault me that. He's also a complete bastard, and I wouldn't want to miss an opportunity to stab him in the gut and take control of his army. So, there's that.
Okay.
I'll say this much. Our time together is anything but dull. My blades are yours for as long as you'll have me.
Noted. I have some questions for you.
What do you need?
To pair converse, have either of you noticed that you fight particularly well together? Well, they do, actually. So, let's do that.
The thought has crossed my mind from time to time. During the many battles of the Conquest, we found ourselves standing back to back with enemies on all sides on more than one occasion.
The big guy here is as useless as an empty scabbard without his phalanx to keep him alive, but I move fast enough to compensate for it. And it's nice having a living wall of rusted iron I can use for cover.
I want the two of you to train together.
Absolutely not. Our fighting styles are incompatible, and any disfavored lieutenant will tell you not to join at the hip soldiers who can't stomach each other.
I'm inclined to agree. If you want to pair up fighters, there has to be some great passion or magnetism between them. We don't have it.
Alright, now we can use our subterfuge here, which is a bluff. If neither of you is up to the challenge, then I won't force the matter. It's not really a bluff, it's more like, you know, a goad. Like we're trying to goad them into accepting. I think that due to our background as a soldier, you know, then Roland would know that that's a fine tactic to use, or you know, appeal to their sense of being badasses. I think that's appropriate. Like, he's been a soldier most of his life. He knows how to you know, like, goad someone into doing something stupid. So we'll do that. If neither of you is up to the challenge, then I won't force the matter.
Now see here, Verse's temperament and unpredictable ways are an annoyance, but no challenge is beyond my skill.
Here we go.
Verse, we should take some time to face off in the sparring fields. It might even improve our disposition towards one another.
I'd rather watch you devour your armor one shaved off spoonful at a time. But since that isn't going to happen anytime soon, I suppose I'll make an effort.
Good. Now, barrack loyalty ability gained Iron Storm. Okay, let's see what that is. Arrow Storm unlocked. Barrack and Verse have gained a new combo ability. Oh yeah! Arrow Storm, okay. Combo ability. Right, Verse fires several arrows into Barrack's armor, and when the last arrows strike, Barrack roars and the arrows burst out, striking nearby enemies. That's cool. That's really cool. Let's also see what this Iron Storm is. That's Roland and Barrack. Swords and javelins emerge from Barrack's armor and fly into a cloud of iron above the Fatebinder. These weapons begin to rain down in a storm around the Fatebinder, damaging enemies nearby. Oh. Nice. Iron Tolling. Oh, I also got Drain Strength. That's right. Siphon Might, Finesse, and Resolve from enemies in a cone and channel it back to you for a brief time. For 20 seconds. That's a cool ability. I think we'll remove Spectral Blur. It would be nice to have a more hotkeys here, but I can't access all the abilities down there, I guess. Let's also... Right, I gotta do it this way. Let's see, let's have Quicken over there. That thing. Iron Tolling. And Iron Storm. Like so. And then I'll have my other abilities here. And I have room for one more, which I will use at some point. We'll see. Okay, the final person we want to talk to before we get going is Lantry.
At least in theory, I'm supposed to be observing history and not getting myself wrapped into it. All the same, this is the thrill of a lifetime. Rarely does one stand so close to monumental moments in the making. If given the choice between a multifaceted hive mind of treachery and a surly old soldier, General Grumps is the wiser choice. It's patently obvious which Archon is truly loyal to Kairos.
I'm glad you agree.
So, I must ask, are you planning on taking sides in the Civil War? Or do you have other plans?
Yes, I think I am a servant of the Archon of Justice. That much has not changed.
Dutifully spoken. It is Tunon's duty to arbitrate matters between the Archons, so this rift between Ash and Nerat certainly falls under his jurisdiction. And here you are, thrust in the middle of the dispute. No doubt the mighty adjudicator will be relying heavily on you to get to the truth of the matter. Whatever you do next, consider that many eyes will be upon you, for you have both delivered and taken away the Overlord's edicts, and few will know how to make sense of the latter. You are an exception the Archons cannot afford to ignore. They will likely aim to control or destroy you.
Have you heard of edicts being broken before? Well, no. Edicts are forever, right? I think Roland believes that hook, line, and sinker. Have you a moment? Let's talk further. So, what is on your mind? You want to discuss the matters of the present, or would you prefer a more scholarly rant? I don't understand the difference. I have some questions about him.
I am nothing if not a semi-reliable font of knowledge. What did you want to discuss?
Right. What can you tell me about the School of Ink and Quill?
You mean what's left of them?
Yeah.
What would you like to know?
Why did the sages resist Kairos?
Why, indeed. As historians, it is our place to document, not direct. Let others rage and resist. Ours is the duty to record. The decision to defy Kairos was not unanimous, nor one decided upon lightly. The laws of Kairos would forbid much of the knowledge contained in the Vellum Citadel. The elder sages feared, rightly perhaps, that the Overlord would put an end to our tradition of stockpiling knowledge. The Battle of the Vellum Citadel was a battle to preserve knowledge, but our actions will be remembered as treason against the will of Kairos.
Huh. What sort of sigils do the sages practice?
Traditionally, we use magic only so that we may observe and archive. So that means magic of concealment and protection. But, in truth, we have amassed a great wealth of knowledge. Before the Vellum Citadel fell, any given subject of magic had at least one sage practicing it.
Oh, really? Tell me a bit about the school's history.
The sages trace their days to a generation after 5 Wives, when the first settlers moved west. The Vellum Citadel began as a scholastic retreat, slowly blossoming into the finest library in the continent across the generations.
What is the 5 Wives? The 5 Wives is the name for both the historic landfall of seafaring human settlers on the Tiers, as well as the name for the archipelago where the first, now largely abandoned, settlements were founded. In centuries past, the historic event was known more properly as the 5 Wives and the 7 Husbands. For as the story goes, 7 ships made landfall after 2 seasons of difficult living. The 7 husbands got back on their boats to see what else was nearby, and all perished. Many suggest that this was just a parable used to explain the gender roles of a land ownership and admiralty in the Tiers. But nobility take the origin story quite seriously, and nearly every noble house in the Tiers has a family mythology linking them back to these 5 fabled matriarchs. I see.
The centuries fly by, and suddenly, the Vellum Citadel is the definitive archive in the Tiers. The sages branched out into carrying missives for wealthy clients, training noble children to read. The peasants may have feared us, but we remained useful enough to the kings and queens of the Tiers to avoid war. When Kairos came to the Tiers, that's when our hubris came back to haunt us. The elder sages, the other elder sages, not I, believed our spellcraft was enough to ward off any siege. Well, we know how that turned out.
Right. What is the core philosophy of the School of Ink and Quill?
The sages are archivists, academicians, and arcanists. Our mission is to preserve the knowledge of today for the good of tomorrow. Though we are known for our magic, few realize that most sages concern themselves with scribal work. Only a select few have the talent or focus to work the sigils. Each sage benefited from the scrolls of learning that came before him, and so each sage must repay this boon by gathering, authoring, or translating new texts to the stacks. But all that's a bit generous. It's no secret that the sages were far more happy to add knowledge than to share it.
I see. Let's speak of something else. Let's discuss current
Of
matters.
course. How can I help?
Okay. You're taking lots of notes. What about?
All kinds of things. My mind is old, memory's a sieve. Keeping track of you, noting what I hear of the war, scribbling down reminders to myself, that sort of thing.
To be writing on your arms that much? Well, I don't know what he's doing. Are you spying on me?
Well, yes. If I'm worth my weight in tin as a craftsman of record, future generations will know of you. So yes, the Archon of Posterity sent me. You seem troubled by something that ought to be an honor.
The Archon of Posterity? Who's that? I can't tell. I don't know, is that just a quip? I don't know. I don't like the idea of you recording me.
Do you have something to hide? Do you want your actions forgotten? Either way, if I actually survive following you and make a cogent text out of this ramble of notes, well, if that happens, and you hate it, you can torch the pages.
Alright, carry on for now, but I may change my mind later.
Understood. Know that I observe to immortalize, not to slander.
Well, I guess. Alright, that's all for now. Okay, cool. So everything was voiced there. That's good. That's sort of impressive. This is not a AAA game, although it is fairly good. Like, quality-wise, it's awesome. But I think that if they were gonna hire voice actors to do everything here, holy shit, that would have been expensive. Let's see. Let's also see about this thing here. On closer inspection, a series of symbols carved around the base of the structure come into view. One symbol pulses with a blue-white glow. The pattern resembles the glowing lines of light seen on the floor of Ascension Hall moments before you found yourself transported above the clouds. As you stare at the symbol, the chill of the wind abates, and your chest swells with warmth. The air finally feels welcoming, your lungs sated at last. I'd be careful going any closer. This whole tower is humming with energies that we don't understand. Landry holds his quill poised above a sheet of parchment with anticipation. Now, I didn't say back away. Let's find out what it does. Just be cautious. You staked your claim on this tower and everything in it. Whatever this sculpture is, it belongs to you. I feel dizzy. Do you feel dizzy? Barak massages the brow of his helmet, causing a howl of grinding iron to echo across the expanse. What is this thing? Let's ask. The surface of the stone edifice trembles at your words. For a brief moment, the solid rock undulates, the same motion as a quiet pond rippled by rain. An echo bounces back from afar, your voice distorted and unfamiliar. Is this thing? The sculpture is once again still. There is a rush of warmth through your body, a jolt of enervation that steadies your balance. A barrage of tactile sensation floods your mind as you feel footsteps in wind, but not on your face or your limbs. A moment later, the flood of information begins to make sense. You're feeling the wind against the spire, and even the weight of your own feet, as if the spire were a second spine. Ooh, that's trippy. With this connection made, you feel your awareness pull from this place, not as a traveler, but as one glimpsing the world from impossibly far away. In this moment, there is nothing you cannot see, though you see it nearly all at once in a flood of sensation that is difficult to parse. You see a spire at the crossing of an ancient stone structure, two walls extending off into the distance. At the base of this eternal spire, settlers and merchants act in every way unconcerned, toiling under the observation of unforgiving taskmasters. As the shadow of the spire falls over them, the mood changes. The settler pause in shared unease and look up to the sky, towards you. Though you haven't seen it in person, you are certain this is a vision of Lethian's Crossing, for nowhere else are the Tearsmen brave or desperate enough to settle at the intersection of bane-ridden old walls. Let's read about Lethian's Crossing. Built in the shadow of an old wall's junction in the realm of Haven, Lethian's Crossing is a growing trading settlement. The nearby rivers are rich in iron ore, though the locals lack the technology to smelt and forge the element. In the years following Kairos' conquest of the Tears, the population of Lethian's Crossing swelled with refugees fleeing the destruction of their homelands. The presence of the forge-bound mining the iron, along with their guards, makes this makeshift settlement a vital resource for Kairos' armies. So that's where the forge-bound are. See, near the settlement, built at the joining of ancient walls, you see a branch on the massive masonry, a cleft into the forbidden, a hidden realm within old walls. Let's drift closer to the old walls entrance. Maybe. What is the old walls? Right. Shadows envelop you, muting all sound and vision with a slight delay. There's a feeling of perversion, of wrongness. Whatever arcane power is allowing your senses to drift free of your body seems to falter in this place. Figures haunt the stone halls, drifting emanations of cloud, claw, and fang. They pay you no heed, but you fear them all the same. In the depths of this forbidden place, the deepest chamber is bathed in light. An arcane symbol illuminates the floor. though the details hurt your eyes when you focus. With a gentle tug, your focus pulls back to a new horizon, though it takes you a moment to recognize it as Vendrian's well. You returned your awareness to your immediate surroundings. The effect leaves you unsteady on your feet. We'll drift closer to the spire. The spire feels similar to the one you now occupy, though instead of radiating arcane life, it reeks of dust and crumbling stone. A branch withering once pulled from its tree. It reaches for you with a barely perceptible tug. The link between you and the spire recedes. The arcane bond is still present, but the mystical energies, for the moment, are quiet. Your body flooded with excitement and fatigue. It's unclear whether the mystic connection is strengthening you or siphoning. The tower offers nothing by way of answer, and you know that asking would only yield more silence and mystery. The deluge of sensation is over, but the positions on the other spires still linger in your mind. From your vantage point atop the mountain spire, you can easily spot the mysterious structures, each of them rising high above the distant surroundings. And the portal is now active again. Alright, good. Did you sense that? Landry signs a long sigil in the air, squinting at you as he works his cantrip. Ripples are everywhere when you move. The magic of this place stirs and churns. That portal over there, those burning braziers, they all glow more intense as you approach. I think it's responding to your presence. Before we get ahead of ourselves, it's worth remembering that you ended Kairos' edict. That's no small feat. Maybe your connection to this place is related. Either way, it sounds like something for the arcane-minded to investigate. Be sure to see me after your audience with Tunon. We cannot allow the Scarlet Chorus to get a hold in the tears. Together, we will wipe them from the land. Come with me as soon as you can, Fatebinder. We have a lot of work to do. And she goes away. Okay, cool. So what happens when I click this now? The sculpture does not respond to your touch.
I got it.
Okay. So, let's have a look at our missives. That's the thing, right? Notes, encyclopedia, biography... Spire. Oh, here we go. Spire upgrades. Mysterious device. The ancient device perched atop the mountain spire in Vendor as well as a product of a forgotten age. It is unclear what function it once had, or if it can be used again. Resting in any spire grants a bonus to all skills. Alright, cool. Scrolls, iron ingots, bronze ingot, alchemy supplies. Oh shit! These are oh man, I shouldn't have sold these. Those are resources. Okay. Skill you're proficient in. Let's see, merchant with a motley collection of items for sale. Rebels can also create camping supplies periodically. Skill trainer teaches unarmed attacks, parry, dodge, and subterfuge. Isolon. Trainer teaches one-handed, parry, okay. One-handed, two-handed, sword, and no, dodge and athletics. Dual with parry and dodge. I think Tanara is probably what we want here. The skill trainer teaches one-handed, two-handed, dual-wield, parry, and dodge. Now why is... oh, she is actually quite cheap to hire. Let's hire her. Tanara will appear the next time you travel to the mysterious device. Alright. Edicts. Read any information about its current edict. Okay. No edict on that region. This is the Edict of Stone. So this is the Stone Sea then, right? In the last year of Kyrus' conquest, when the Archon of Cairn rebelled against the Overlord's rule, an edict was proclaimed upon the realm of Azur to preserve our peace, the promise of safety to our citizens. All Archons must submit to our will. Any Archon who refuses proper submission must be brought to justice. Therefore, let the foundations of Azur be shattered, and life drained from the land while the traitor Cairn draws breath. Whoa. This is the Edict of Storms over here. Okay. In the year 430 TR, the Overlord proclaimed... I think that's Tyr's Reckoning? I'm not sure. Let's see. The Overlord proclaimed an edict over the realm of Stalwart. To those who, in pride and arrogance, stand against the peace and order of our empire, shall be ground beneath the stones of their land. Let those who call themselves unbroken, who embrace the chaos of war in defiance of our order, be broken in the storms of our rage. Let our storm rage until the last blade be broken, or the line of regent falls. What is the Unbroken? The Unbroken Legion was the proud and accomplished army of the realm of Stalwart. Oh yeah, I remember those guys. Citing their victories as evidence of skill, they prided themselves on never facing defeat while fighting on home soil. After the Edict of Storms tore apart Stalwart and twisted it into the Blade Grave, barely a 20th of the Unbroken former strength survived to continue the war against Kyrus' forces. There's no edict over there either. This is an Edict of Fire. Let's see. In the realm, in the year 430 TR, Kyrus the Overlord proclaimed an edict over the Vellum Citadel in the contested lands. It is our most solemn duty to protect our citizens, the citizens of our empire, from all dangers, including the danger of knowledge that is forbidden. Well, that sounds familiar. Let those who, in their burning arrogance, hold tightly to this lore be consumed by our wrath. Therefore, let the fires of Terratus rise up and consume them, for as long as forbidden knowledge lies within the heart of the Vellum Citadel. Okay. That's fun. Let's see here. Stirring visions. Okay, reputation. Blood and mark. Pleased by my sly ways. Alright. This is the Archon of Shadows. Rumor has it. Rumor makes him Kyrus' deadly assassin, though few will willingly speak of him for fear of drawing his gaze. Okay. We have full wrath against the voices of Nerat. Almost full favor with Graven Ash. And Tunon is pleased with us. Orderly, fair ways. Yeah. Let's see, Barrack. Right, we have unlocked Iron Storm. Need reputation of very major to unlock this tier. Okay, so I don't know what's there. Blade Grave's Grasp. We can get we can unlock that one as well eventually. Verse. Okay, Death from Above. Launch Verse into the air, allowing her to unleash a series of well-aimed arrows into the target from above. Each of these arrows strikes true in its armor penetration. Oh, that's good. Fury's Rage. Project intense flames towards Verse, which she catches on her blades and spins into an aura, breathing flames around her. Thereby foes take burn damage from the flames while they last. That sounds really useful and cool. Oh! Look at the damage, 30 to 45 damage. Holy shit. For 15 seconds, pulse rate 3% per third second. Right, so that's 5 pulses of 30 to 42 damage. That's really awesome. No, it's 12 to 16. That's the area of effect. Mage fire for 6 seconds. And a whole bunch of accuracy. Alright. Ebb. Well, Ebb is dead. She could have given us Tertius's embrace. Let's not care what she can do. She's dead. The Wheel of Ages. The Fatebinder and Lantry work together to create a slowing aura around a party member. Foes within range of the aura are slowed. When party members move inside the aura, they have their hostile effects suspended. Oh, that's pretty cool. Theft of memory. Steal energy from the target and grant the power to the Fatebinder. Oh, that sounds practical. The attributes and portion of their attributes. Okay. Let's see. The enemy loses access to some of their abilities and has a portion of their attributes stolen, while the Fatebinder gains bonus to all attributes. Okay. Okay, so it's the lore, that's the attack skill. Attributes and abilities stolen. It doesn't say how much. Unnerving presence. Drain strength. Oh. Cool. Disfavored. Ah, that's where it comes from. I got favored with the disfavored, and so we get the stand together, stand tall, which gives resolve to everybody around. Damage absorption shield to the target. Okay. Scarlet Chorus. Yeah, there's a lot. There's a lot. I don't have time to go through all that stuff. I wanted to see records, notes, biography. Where are the missives? Ah, there we go. We have 2 from Tunon. The Will of Kairos. Let's see. Oh yeah, he has responded to our previous things. Okay, Roland, perhaps your continued and faithful service shall remind the Archons of their duties to the Overlord. One can only hope. May fortune favor your endeavor. Cool. And the Dawn of Ascension. Roland, the Archons inform me that the recapture of the Citadel of from the Vendrian Guard, that's the Vendrian insurrectionists, continues apace, that they wrote me separately of their divergent tactical intentions, endangers no small concern, but I trust now in your efforts. May your good judgment, as you see it, through the coming confrontation with glory. Oh wait, may your good judgment see you through the coming confrontation with glory and success back to the safety of our court. Vent frustration. Express concern. What is that? Your birds find me on the road of conflict and bloodshed. I cannot help but wonder at the wisdom, the decisions and acts that have brought us to this point. I would not question the Overlord's will, yet I find myself divided. I don't think that's gonna be that. No. Wait. Wait, I can't... Really? I went go back. This edict comes to pass, and I never see your court again. I hope you remember the agreements that we forged. They swore me into the service. Well, this missive is archived. I wanted to just have a look, because I thought it was express concern about, you know, about the overlords or the archons. That, you know, I'm concerned what the archons might do. But no. Oh well. I should keep that in mind for next time. I'm not gonna re-record this whole episode. Just to, because it would have been the fair thing to do, given that I didn't realize clicking that would be a permanent thing. Because I could have clicked go back, right? So I guess I just... Roland wrote about his misgivings, and you know, just never sent the letter. I hope. Because I don't want Tunon to think that I do not trust in the Overlord. Right, let's head down to Ascension Hall. Actually, I think we're about half an hour. There was a lot of things to go through. I should also, before I go, I should just go through the quest log real quick, because after I stopped recording, they did pop up some new quests. So I just want you guys to be aware of, you know, like a little peek into the future, see what's coming up on the playthrough. So we'll go through the tutorial. No, not the tutorial, the quest log. Just see what's there. Alright, here we go. Ooh, there's some loot. Vendrian bow. So, ship that over to Verse, and an iron javelin. We'll throw that away. Right, so we got Stirring Visions. Whatever you did in Ascension Hall and Vendrian's Well has given you the power to interact with the Spire. Before you ascended the Spire, you had a vision when the edict broke. Understanding this vision might help you get a better grasp of this new power you have acquired. Right. You had a vision of the Spire scattered across the tiers, and you could feel the connection between them and the Spire you claimed at Vendrian's Well. Gather more information about these mysterious structures and seek them out whenever possible. And you have gained access to Haven. The region's spire is attached to the old walls at the Lethian's Crossing settlement. Travel there and find a way to gain access to the spire. Right. So because of our vision, we want to see what that vision did us. We also got the voice for Kairos. Tunon is the voice for Kairos under Tears, and he'll want to know the specifics of what transpired in Vendrian's Well. So we need to head to the Bastard City. And also the Weight of Aegis. Barrack wants to know if there is a way he can be freed from his iron prison. So we need to petition Tunon on Barrack's behalf. Okay. So that's... oh. Yeah, Barrack has something he wants to talk about.
And so, civil war divides the armies of mighty Kairos. The reckoning that comes of this failure will be great indeed. We find ourselves in the darkest times. Brothers and sisters who fought for a similar cause now skewer each other over blighted lands in the favor of distant powers.
What would you have done at Vendrian's Well?
Backing the disfavored was the only logical choice. Graven Ash is the only Archon worthy of your confidence, and you were wise to recognize as much. Naturally, I would have done the same. Whatever others might say about what happened in Vendrian's Well, you acted from instinct. I can't help but respect that.
Thank you. Onward. Alright, cool. Thank you for watching another episode of Let's Play Tyranny. A lot of information and catching up in this episode, but that just means that the next one will be even better when we travel to the Bastard City and meet Tunon in-game for the first time. Yeah, see you then. Thank you for watching.